to the Root Neighbors podcast. My name is Seth, and this is my beautiful co-host,
Philip. You called me beautiful. Aw.
And you know what? You all are in for a real treat this week. Why are they in for a real treat, Philip?
Well, first I want to know why you're talking like a racehorse announcer, but also
Philip. Okay,
we don't have fun here.
Adding a little spice, little pizzazz.
This is a no fun zone, except when you're playing hide and seek. Our first topic this week.
Oh, Philip can't find me.
I see you. I found you. It's
I'll
accurate.
always find you, Philip.
You found me. You found me. And our next topic is the hit comedy film Spaceballs.
Spaceballs.
The musical.
It's not a musical.
Not yet.
Well, you were making a.
Yeah.
I see what you.
You see what? Yeah.
And then a mystery topic, which I have definitely prepared in advance.
Hey, I prepared for once last week, Seth. You gotta step your game up. If I can get my shit together, you can.
That's a big ask, my friend.
Well, we'll see if we can find it. Just like we find people in hide and seek. Like that segue?
I don't want to find you anymore, Philip.
No one does.
Yeah, you ever do that? Like somebody's hiding at like one last person, and you don't look for them because you just let them.
No, what?
Hiding.
Jesus, Seth. You just let him sit there forever?
Oh, I've never done that. That's just happened to me.
Oh no, that's sad. Seth, I will always find you, Seth. First, because you're a shitty hider.
I'm actually a great hider. Thank you very much.
My parents didn't find me in the basement for 4 years.
Wow, it's fun. You know, my parents didn't find me at that gas station for 4 whole days. It was
a
great.
Really good hider. But yeah, hide and seek is a classic childhood game. You play with friends if you have them. I didn't play much.
Oh wait. Oh no. It was always a big staple at like birthday parties.
Yeah.
Yeah. I distinctly remember like one of my first times playing it when I was a kid was it was some birthday my sister had in middle school, and we would just run around the house and hide.
As one does.
As one does. But it was I distinctly remember like that being the first time I'd ever gone into my parents' closet, because they had this big like walk-in closet filled with all their clothes that like smelled like mothballs, and I just remember myself like crouching among my dad's suits and sitting in the dark.
But when did you come out of the closet, Seth?
I've never come out of the closet.
This is a loving, safe space, Seth. Anytime, whenever you're ready. So, hide and seek was fun. I always loved it as a kid. I'm definitely preferential, I can speak, to indoor hide and seek. Hiding out in like the woods and shit, I was never a fan of like outdoor hide and seek, because like all the good hiding spots require you to like bury yourselves in the depths of nature, and you get like poison ivy and bug bites and shit. Fuck that shit, man. I'm gonna just get caught. But inside, especially, like I always loved, like I would go to like church events as a kid, and like where you had like free reign of like the gym and like surrounding classrooms and stuff to hide in. Those were always great because you had so many options. Like, because some houses are not built for hide and seek.
No.
Like you can't play hide and seek inside a trailer or.
I mean, my house in particular, it's like one straight shot down. Like one room leads to another room, leads to another room, and just 2 floors of that. So it's pretty easy for the seeker to just make a clean sweep through. and like
Yeah.
hit every major spot that you'd expect somebody to be hiding.
There really needs to be, like, we have, like, paintball arenas. We need hide-and-seek arenas as adults.
Absolutely.
'Cause, like...
I've actually played hide and seek a significant amount recently because I was very involved with this church group while in college, and every year we would have a lock-in in the spring, and hide and seek was our big event of the night. And so this is like a massive church. It's not just a huge sanctuary. It's a whole network of like preschool classrooms, of just like different office spaces and nooks and crannies all over the place. And it is the most incredible place to play hide and seek. And I would get just the same rush doing it as an adult as I did as a kid. Like that has not gone away at all.
Mm-hmm. See, the issue is... Oh, go ahead, sorry.
So I mean, like, there are, like, I mean, I don't know why that isn't something that's been picked up on already, having, like we have escape rooms and, like, laser tag places. Like, I feel like a hide-and-seek arena would be a pretty smart business venture.
Oh, yeah, 100%. Like, that would be so much fun. Because that's the issue is, like, I mean, I haven't played hide-and-seek in God knows how long. But, like, it's hard as an adult because, like, your places to hide get very limited as you become, you know, a full-grown adult. Like, I'm almost 6 feet tall. Like, there's not a lot of options for me to hide.
I was always really big on hiding under coffee tables. And obviously that is not an option anymore because I'm much larger.
Oh wait, see, when I was a kid, I would love... we had, like kitchen cabinets, like the ones on the ground, and when I was a kid, I would just hide in the little cabinets. I would just crawl into a ball in the kitchen cabinets. I would push the pots out of the way and just crawl into the cabinets. You can't do that when you're 5'11" and 200 pounds. It's not feasible.
Yeah. Although,
but...
I mean, we have kind of played hide and seek together. Not like actual hide and seek. But, I mean, the campus of the University of Alabama for pledging APO, we had to hide somewhere on campus and make sure we weren't caught by anyone in order to get to a certain place at a certain time.
Like, we met up for that. We grouped up, you and me.
That was actually one of our, like... That was in our early, like, bonding phase, was a couple of people who, like, vaguely knew each other, kept messaging back and forth about what our plans were, and, like, you were one of the people who we were getting in on it.
Yeah, because, like, I think we were friends by then, but like, we weren't super close. We knew each
other, and, like, we... Yeah.
It was a good time. Apparently we're shouting out APO, a Theater Organization Society.
I mean, Alpha Psi Omega, brothers and sisters, definitely didn't get suspended because, you know, Phillip and I are bad boys.
Oh, yeah, we're rebels. We were not the reason they got suspended, so if any APO people are listening, we were not involved in that. Don't get that in your head.
I mean, I feel like anybody watching this video probably already knows who it was, so...
Oh, yeah, 100%. But, like,
anyway.
That's not here or there. Our audience doesn't give a shit about this. Hide and seek.
Hide and seek.
Can we seek for, you know, the point to this conversation? Ha ha ha! Oh, well, alright, game over.
A holly ollie oxen free.
So, yeah, what... Okay, before I ask that question, when you play hide and seek, what were your, like, rules? Because I know when I played as a kid... like, the rule that I had in my head was basically, it was, like, hide and seek, but it was also basically tag, where you have to get tagged for it to count as a successful
See, we had we also played that, but we called it hide and go seek tag.
Oh, yeah.
So, like, it was a different game.
Because, like, I guess, because I did play with a couple people that was just like, oh, no, you just gotta, if you find them, That's it. It's like,
Yeah.
I don't get any chance to run or like,
Nope.
fuck that.
Well, yeah, no, that is how I play it. It's if you found the person and if you can like confirm it was them, then then it counts. Like if somebody is able to slip away before you're able to identify them, then I feel like it's fair game. Like, but if you can identify them, then that's
I suppose.
You're out.
Yeah.
We also played. I remember also playing I mean, there were a couple of different versions of the game. I've played. Have you ever played Sardines?
It sounds vaguely familiar.
It was a version where one person, only one person goes and hides, and so everybody else is looking around for you, and when a person finds you, they sit down next to you where you're hiding, and that just everybody does that until everybody is together, and the last person needs to find where the hell everybody went. And it's kind of like reverse hide and seek. I mean, the stakes are a lot lower because there's not really any way to win, but it definitely gets creepy once you notice, oh, less and less people are looking.
Maybe hide and seek is just like training for a horror movie scenario.
Yeah.
Where you just gotta hide away from the killer. You gotta stay away, and if they find you, you die.
I feel like that's had to have been a horror movie already.
Oh, I mean, there's a movie called Truth or Dare. Like, I would be vastly surprised if there has not been a hide and seek based film. Like, there has to be.
Certainly.
And like, I love cheesy horror movies, so I kind of want to look that up now.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so when are we playing high stakes hide and seek, where if I find you, I just kill you? You're coming to visit soon, right?
Yeah.
Cool.
Why don't you come find me right now?
I'm on my way. With my car that might explode at any moment.
Yeah, I was about to say, it's like, Philip might not have a car, so are you gonna walk up here?
Hey, the car still works for now.
Sure,
it's still,
Phillip.
she's still kicking. She's a trooper.
Whatever you say, bud.
Remember that 2 months that Philip had a working car? It was real nice.
That was a nice time. But hey,
a good 2
look,
months.
okay, baby's first car trouble. It's a beautiful, magical time, and I don't feel bad pulling the "You're one of us" card because I missed my best friend's wedding because my car wouldn't work. So you really are one of us.
Whoa. I haven't gotten married, Seth. What the fuck?
I mean a friend.
No,
just
no.
random friend.
No, I see how it is, Seth. I see you don't love me anymore.
I tell you that every day.
That
I don't love you anymore.
I thought it was in fun.
I'm sorry. Do I seem like a fun person?
No, you know what? Fair play.
Well, anyway, there's another version of hide and seek that we would play a lot, where it's. I mean, I feel like this is a pretty widespread way of playing. Is once you find somebody, then they join in, and they are also a seeker, and so everybody just becomes a seeker one by one until the last.
I played that
person
version before.
Is standing.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't got a lot to say on hide and seek. I'm gonna be real. I played it a few times. It was fun. Hide and seek was never like a favorite childhood game of mine.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it was fine, but like I would rather have played like just straight up tag or I was like Duck Duck Goose. I'm gonna be real.
Well, I mean, I think there's just sort of there is a creativity to it, because some people, I mean, will just find the first thing they can see to hide behind. But then there are people who just get really creative about it. They're like, ooh, I can position myself in a certain way, but like in this plant or in this certain crevice that no one is going to be able to get to. And I appreciate that aspect of it. Like, there was one time I was playing and I hid at the top of a stairwell and just sort of crouched there. And everybody just sort of, since it was the top floor, everybody looked up the stairs to the top floor without looking at the landing. And so I never got caught. They had to text me to come out.
I think the proudest... Oh, go ahead.
No, yeah, no. You go
I think the proudest hiding spot I ever had was... I don't know how old I was, probably like 10 or so. And we would play hide and seek. It was inside. And we had... The house we were in had a very, like, tall hallway. Like, very... It went up higher than your normal hallway. And what I did was... Have you ever seen, like, American Ninja Warrior or Ninja Warrior?
Yes.
Well, they have one obstacle where, like, literally, like, you, like, spread out your arms and legs and, like, climb up the wall.
Mm-hmm.
And I did that in the hallway, and I climbed all the way to the top.
Oh my gosh.
And I was only able to hold it for, like, 8 minutes or so, but luckily that's how long the game lasted. But,
Yeah,
like, people would literally walk right underneath me and just didn't look up, because, like, why the fuck would you look up?
That is
and,
crazy.
I did get a little bit scolded for, leaving
Climbing
shoe
the
marks
walls.
on the fucking hallway, but I don't care. It was a clever hiding spot, and it worked very well. And I will never achieve that feat of athleticism ever again. Hide and seek was the peak of my athleticism.
I'm sure it was, Philip. I've seen you do sports.
I don't know if that's accurate.
I've played Foursquare with you.
I did okay at Foursquare.
You're fine at Foursquare.
I was not the worst Foursquare player in our group.
That's true.
I was like top 3, which was sad, but true.
Foursquare, also awesome game.
Top tier game. I never got to play it much as a kid. I've only played it a handful of times, but
I
I
did
love
not
it.
play until my senior year of high school.
It's so fun, dude, but no one ever
it is
fucking
so
plays
fun,
it.
Yeah.
It's a good game. Like,
Yeah.
when are we starting? That Brute Neighbors is going to be home of the first... I mean, it's probably not going to be the first. A professional Foursquare tournament.
Yo,
We're gonna
when I come down to Atlanta to visit you, we'll go to some basketball court and we'll play
Get some
Foursquare.
chalk. Yeah, fuck yeah. We should record it for the channel.
Ooh, yeah.
Yeah.
I wanted to mention, just like I said, some people get really creative about it. Some people get really into it. I have this one friend of mine, Bryce, and he takes it so seriously. Like, there was one time he was hidden, and it was a very large building that we were in, and he found some crevice, like, in some storage room, and he found this just decomposing rat carcass.
Oh my god.
And it had clearly been there for a while, and, like, no one had apparently been in that section of the building in a while. And he took a picture of it and sent it to us. And we're like, that's just sitting in the building? Like, where was it? Somebody should probably take care of it. And he wouldn't tell us because he was like, it's a good hiding space. I want to make sure I have it in my pocket for the future.
Oh my god.
You know
Did he
what?
ever
That rat
reveal it?
might still be there.
It's his dark. He probably killed the rat.
Oh god. He was there too long.
He's like, this rat is gonna rat me out. So he killed him.
I hate you, Philip.
You love me and you know it.
Maybe.
Sometimes. Only on Tuesdays. Which is when we're recording this podcast.
Ayo.
Whoa. Dated this podcast.
So I don't love you most times we record this podcast.
How dare you?
Because we don't usually record on Tuesday.
That's true. If I want the love, we gotta schedule it for Tuesdays. It's fair. That's fair. That's reasonable. Any other thoughts on hide and seek, Seth?
Nah, I feel like it's pretty straightforward. I mean, hide and seek is one of those quintessential games as a kid, along with tag, and like red light, green light.
Red light, green light is so fun.
Yeah.
Simon Says is a good one.
So I mean, I am extremely pro hide and seek. Always have been. Always will be. I think that's pretty.
Yeah.
Airtight.
Yeah, I am also pro hide and seek. I'm a fan of all those games. I don't think they get played enough as adults anymore. Like, we play video games and board games. We don't play the active games anymore.
Yeah, a lot of them do hold up no matter what age you are.
Yeah. When are we gonna play fucking, like, Duck Duck Goose deserves more respect. Duck Duck Goose is a good game.
I mean, yeah.
People shit on Duck Duck Goose. There's a large Duck Duck Goose bias, and I will not stand for it.
Well, it's because I'm anti geese.
Well, I'm also anti geese and ducks, as we discussed in our bird podcast last week, I believe. No, 2 weeks ago. 2 weeks ago. Self-cross promotion.
Bringing it back around, making it relevant.
We're doing great here.
That's Philip for you.
I'm a relevant boy.
What about you?
I am pro hide and seek. It's a good game. Highly enjoy it. Fun times. I want to play in, like, a haunted asylum.
Yeah.
That's the ultimate location for hide and seek.
Well, I mean, I don't want to play in a haunted asylum, but
you're missing out, man.
Another thing we probably should touch on, and I know we talked about this a lot 2 weeks ago for our Among Us video, but it is fun how, like, in Among Us and other games of the like, you can play hide and seek, and it's very adaptable format.
Yeah.
And so if you get on Among Us, you can play it with your buddies 1,000 miles away.
I mean, virtual hide and seek is a thing. There's a game called Gary's Mod, and there's, like, different hide and seek kind of modes. There's a game called Prop Hunt, which is you, like, turn into different weird, like, props and objects, and your whole goal. There's, like, the prop team and the, like, hunter team, and the prop team, so they get to choose what, like, prop and object out in the world they want to look like. Mm-hmm. And their goal is to blend in and look like they're just part of the world, and the hunters have to find what prop is, like, a real actual part of the world and which part is an imposter, like, looking like a prop. It's actually really fun.
It sounds fun.
I think you'd like Gary's Mod, honestly. There's a lot that goes into it to, like, get it to work, but if you can get a smart friend to set it up for you, it's quite fun.
Gotcha.
So, I know you're not a big video game guy, but, like, it's worth a check out if you ever have the opportunity.
What do you mean? I am a tech. I do the interweb.
I do the interwebs, and I'm a pro gamer. I play Among Us every now and then. Thank you very much.
I'll have you know, the other day I couldn't connect to Wi-Fi, and I was able to unplug the router and plug it back in again, and it worked. So
tech guru right here.
Call me up, Geek Squad. I'm unemployed.
Oh God, I would be scared if you showed up to my door to fix my electronics stuff. They'll just be like, have you tried hitting it? I'm just like, what? It's like, I'm just saying, hit it.
You gotta give it a good Fonzie slap.
Yeah, just rough her up a bit.
Yeah.
Know?
Oh yeah.
God. All right. I think that's it for hide and seek. We're both pro hide and seek. It's a quality game. Go play it. Go have friends.
Unless you don't have friends.
We'll be your
friends. In which
friends.
case, get friends.
We'll play hide. We'll do a community hide and seek match. And by community, our four regular listeners.
When COVID is over, we will host a community hide and seek match.
It'll be great. All five of us will go play hide and seek.
All the neighborhood nation.
I don't like nation. I don't know. I don't want that tag on there.
Okay, just the neighborhood assemble.
Yeah, we'll get the neighbor assemble. We'll get our neighborhood together. I hate that we're calling our community.
We'll have a potluck. Whenever we have like if the channel's ever big enough for us to have like just sort of community discussions with the fans or whatever, we should call it a potluck.
Honestly, I'm for it, man. I think it'd be fun. What do you think it should be called? Comment below. See, look at that community interaction.
We love your viewer viewer engagement.
Hey, there we go. We know words.
Only
one of us is drinking alcohol. Which one do you think it is?
I'm a social media influencer.
We have 19 subscribers now. That qualifies as an influencer, right?
Pretty famous.
We influenced those 19 people enough to hit the subscribe button. All right.
Spaceballs. The podcast.
The
Spaceballs. The topic. The podcast.
Spaceballs. The subject. Spaceballs. The conversation starter.
Oh no! I mean, it is quite the conversation starter.
It is. Spaceballs is one of my favorite comedies of all time.
Huh? Okay.
It is. The only other comedies I would put over it are like Airplane and maybe Monty Python and the Search for the Holy Grail.
Okay.
Outside of like,
I'm sorry.
Yeah, just outside of that, like that's like my holy trinity of comedy films is Airplane, Spaceballs, and Holy Grail. Like I will always be able to watch those, and like if I'm in a bad mood or feeling sad, I can watch those, and those will cheer me up.
See, I watched Spaceballs as a kid and remember really enjoying it. Or when I say a kid, I was probably like 14.
Hey, you're a kid when you're 14.
Yeah. We're old. We can say that.
We are old. We're 500 years old, Seth.
Don't remind me. I don't look a day over 5,000.
I said 500. You went to 5,000.
I know, it's worse than I thought.
You look very bad for your age.
But I watched it as a kid and remember really enjoying it. And I watched it again a few months ago, and just now, earlier today, and it did not hold up for me as well as I expected. Yeah, like it just did not vibe with me as much as I remembered it.
That's weird to me. Like for me, it hits all the right boxes. It's very goofy, but it has like wit to that goofiness. And it has, it's dumb, just like yell at you humor, but then it also has some like clever puns and wordplay, and it has a lot of references to sci-fi films, obviously, and like I'm a big sci-fi guy, and that's the kicker. Like, but I mean, you do like sci-fi.
I'm a huge sci-fi guy too. Yeah.
But like, I feel like our sci-fi is like a little bit different. Like you're a Doctor Who sci-fi guy. I'm a alien and like sci-fi horror and like we're both Star Wars, but even then we have different opinions on Star Wars. Yeah. So like I feel like while we're both sci-fi people, we're on like different ends of it a little bit.
I can see that. I mean, Spaceballs for me is one of those things where it hits hard, it hits really well, and then just when it is not hitting very well, it just completely whiffs for me.
See, I can't think of anything that like A couple of the like Druidia jokes don't really hit with me super well,
Well,
but like
it's
but like
mainly
other
just
than that,
it's mainly just it falls flat for me. It's not like anything's a bad joke. It just is not enough to make me be like, oh, that's funny.
like I mean, everything with the Spaceballs, everything on the ship, is hilarious to me. I can't think of a single joke I don't like, and like everything on the ship is super quotable.
I would agree
Like,
with that.
my God, I knew it. I'm surrounded by assholes. My God, they've gone to ludicrous speed.
Who is this man? Asshole. He's an asshole, sir.
Philip,
Oh, I
asshole.
know that, but what's his name?
Like, that's Mr.
Man,
Coffee.
The bearded lady and the bear, for whatever reason, that kills me. The bear gets me every time.
The bear is quite funny. Yeah, everything with the Spaceballs is hilarious. I can see the stuff with Lone Star being a little less captivating, but like
Yeah.
I love Bill Pullman.
Well, and
He's great.
and by the way, Bill Pullman is one of our fraternity brothers in Alpha Psi Omega.
Really?
So we are brothers with Bill Pullman. Brother.
So we're gonna tweet out to Bill Pullman, and he's going to ignore us, and it's gonna be great.
Just like my real brother. I don't have a brother. I'm yanking your chain.
You think you don't have a brother because he ignored you for so long.
Oh no.
Oh God. But like even the Lone Star stuff is usually pretty fun. Everything with yogurt is great.
Oh yeah. Well, and everything with Mel Brooks is hilarious. Like when he shows up, he's hilarious.
Yeah, 100%. The stupid little like Star Trek kind of parody where he like goes in the teleporter and his butt is backwards. Like that's stupid, but it's funny.
Oh, and when the Scotty ripoff is going through like all the different locks, like lock red, lock blue, lock Loman. I'm paraphrasing there, but that was funny.
Yeah.
And once again, just like with Planes, Trains, and Automobiles a few weeks ago, John Candy for me is the heart and soul of this movie. He is not used very effectively. He does not have as big of a role as I feel like John Candy probably should have. But he lightens up the room every time he speaks.
See, like I really do like John Candy in this movie, but like they do use barf as the gross out humor.
Yeah.
And because I'm not a big gross out humor guy, he doesn't do a lot for me. Like he when he's engaging directly with like Bill Pullman or another character, he's really good. But when they're just like barf, not in the car, it's leather. No, that's my name. Like that's fine. Like it's okay, but like John Candy is, I will say, is probably one of the least properly used characters in it, unfortunately. But like that's not on the fault of John Candy at all. He himself is still very funny and very charming in this movie. He got regulated to the gross out humor.
Yeah. I would say probably the parts of this movie that fall the flattest for me are I mean, I love Bill Pullman, and he's a fine character, but I do feel sometimes that it feels like Bill Pullman's character is taking it a little too seriously.
I mean, I think you need that from the protagonist, though. Even in a parody film, you need someone to be the straight man and progress the plot.
But it didn't work for me.
Really? See, I really liked Lone Star.
Yeah, nah.
The only things that...
And then the other thing was Princess Vespa and her whole family. I was not... was not engaged with. I did not care about at all.
That sounds like sexism, Seth.
I mean, look,
I will say her dad is incredibly unfunny.
Oh my gosh,
which is a shame because that actor is really is a famous comedy actor, isn't he?
I don't
He's been in
remember
a lot of
his
stuff.
name, but I have seen him in other things before.
I think Vespa's fine. Dot is fine.
Yeah, I feel bad because it's Joan Rivers and she was a legend, but yeah, she worked better for me than Vespa or her dad, but
She has some good lines here and there.
I did not find Prince Valium funny, but I did appreciate Dot's one joke of like, oh, Valium, he's a pill. That one I shouldn't have laughed as hard at that one as I did, but
yeah, I mean, like little dumb wordplay like that.
Yeah.
I love shit like that. Like that's quality stuff. I mean, for certainly the thing that really makes Spaceballs stand the test of time is Rick Moranis.
oh yeah, God,
He is without a doubt the standout star of this
Yes.
movie. No question. He
100%
has
agree.
most of the most memorable lines. He has the funniest jokes, and his delivery is both. He both plays it straight while also knows when to be goofy. He knows the line. He knows when. And that's just a testament to how good of an
and
actor he
I
is.
hate his dark helmet voice. Oh my gosh, it's so stupid. It's
I love
funny,
his dark
but it's so
helmet voice.
stupid.
That's the point, though.
Yeah, that's not a criticism. That's just like I hate it.
Yeah.
I found you, Lone Star.
There's only one man who would dare give me the raspberry. Lone Star.
Can we talk about the fact that this is a PG rated movie that used fuck?
Did it use it more than once, though?
No, it was only once. But I feel like
Oh, it's
usually
PG, though, yeah.
Yeah, I feel like usually that's just like only PG-13 gets away with this, and this is
When did this come
like
out? The
a
80s?
rare example of the F-bomb getting into a PG movie. Yeah,
When
I
did this
want to
come
say
out?
it was the 80s. Let me look it up.
80s was still when there was a lot of changes happening with the rating systems. It was
87.
definitely... Because that was definitely post PG-13 being introduced.
Yeah.
But I think it was still relatively new. So they still were probably locking down the rules.
I'm
quote-unquote
surprised that
rules.
this
The whole rating
wasn't,
system is garbage.
PG-13.
I think it was still riding on the Star Wars train, and it was still like because I watched this as a kid,
Yeah.
and like I think a lot of people did. I think it is for the most it definitely has risque jokes,
Well,
and
yeah.
but it's not that extreme. It's not Blazing Saddles like
That is very true.
and I love Blazing Saddles, but
Yeah.
it is not. It's a very different vibe. This is very much
And
more approachable.
there's actually an ending to Spaceballs.
Oh God, Mel
That
Brooks
was
is
that
so
was
good.
oh man, because I like Blazing Saddles. I think it's a good movie, but oh man, I hated that.
Really?
It doesn't have an ending. Spoilers,
I mean-
by the way, if you haven't seen Blazing Saddles.
Good job. It's great when you say the spoiler warning after you say the spoiler, Seth.
You're welcome.
It's very effective.
I'm a man of the people.
But I love Blazing Saddles. I have nothing. I have no qualms with the ending to Blazing Saddles. I think it's funny. I kind of like that it just goes off the rails because the whole movie is already basically off the rails, and they're like, yeah, no, we're gonna go further.
Yeah.
Mel Brooks is just such an intelligent,
Oh, yeah.
funny man.
Well, I was
Like,
watching The Producers for the first time the other day, and oh my gosh, I am just. That was one of the funniest movies I've ever seen.
I still haven't actually seen it.
That's definitely got to go on the list because, wow. No, actually, I did put it on the list yesterday.
Hey, nice. Maybe we'll get it, and I'll watch it for next week. But I mean, Spaceballs is probably my favorite Mel Brooks movie. It's either that or Young Frankenstein.
I do really like Young Frankenstein.
Young Frankenstein has one of my favorite stupidest jokes of
Well, and
all time.
I love Gene Wilder too.
Oh, 100% same.
So,
He's one of my favorite actors.
yeah.
We're getting a little off tangent-y here, but his portrayal of Willy Wonka
I mean,
is phenomenal.
it is. I mean, it is an icon in our pop culture.
That is one of the best performances of all time, honestly. Yeah. I think it's genuinely
I
one of the
cannot
best
think of somebody who was as well suited to a role.
Yeah, 100%. He is a fantastic actor, and Willy Wonka is just the peak of that.
Yeah.
But going back to acting though, it is fun that Mel Brooks always cameos in his movie. And not even cameo, he just is.
He has
characters.
roles in all of his movies.
President, what do they call him? President Scroob?
Oh yeah, he's President Scroob. Which,
yeah,
by the way,
Scroob
if you can't pick up on that, it's an anagram for Brooks.
Whoa!
Ah.
You just blew my mind, Seth. We've gone from suck to blow.
I'll show reference. You from suck to blow.
You better.
But my favorite... Okay, my favorite scene of the movie, this is just pure gold to me, is the John Hurt scene in the diner. Because I love John Hurt. I think he's a fantastic actor. And I cannot believe that Mel Brooks got him to reappear in Spaceballs to completely recreate his scene from Alien. That was... oh my gosh. That was hilarious.
What did he order? Oh, he got the soup. No,
he had the special.
That was the special, my bad. It's like, I got the special. Oh, God. That's I love to. He's just like, oh, not again. That's such a good moment.
Not again.
God, Alien is such a good movie, too. Do we have Alien on the list?
I don't think so.
We should.
Yeah.
Love that movie. Yeah, that's a great scene. I think my favorites... I really like meta humor, so I really like when they watch the tape of Spaceballs, the movie.
That is a prime scene, too. Particularly when it catches up to that point in the movie, and it's just the infinite screen inside a screen inside a screen. That is so
Where are we
fun.
now? We're here, now. We're at this part of the movie, but it hasn't filmed yet. It has, now. And also the famous... I'm your brother's cousin's whatever
nephew's
the fuck.
Former roommate. So what does that make us?
Absolutely nothing. God, that's such a good scene. It is an incredibly quotable film, and that is something that Mel Brooks has always been very good at, is making very quotable movies. But Spaceballs in particular is just so many things are still quoted in popular culture, and that's a movie that came out getting close to 40 years now, right? Or 30, over 30 now.
It was 87, so yeah, over 30 years.
Yeah. Significant, older than us, and we still know it, and we still love it, and it is just a movie that I think, because one thing that parody films usually go astray with is they parody things that are just popular in the moment.
Yeah.
And will fade away, and they either aren't funny in their own right, or just maybe they're really clever jokes, but if the thing they're parodying isn't relevant anymore, then in and of itself the parody isn't relevant either.
Yeah.
But because Spaceballs parodied things that are also pretty timeless, like Star Wars and Star Trek, and even to a lesser extent Planet of the Apes and Alien. Well, Alien isn't to a lesser extent, but things that have a very strong, passionate audience still. and will forever because Spaceballs is a niche film.
Mm-hmm.
It's just the right niche that that niche is going to love that movie forever, and will always get new people into it, even if it's not something that everyone will love. Enough people are into that stuff that it'll always find a new audience, and because there is such great performances by Mel Brooks and Rick Moranis and all the other actors who are just funny in their own right. When I first watched it, the only references I got were probably Star Wars. I hadn't watched Alien when I was 8. I hadn't watched Planet of the Apes, or hell, I'd only even seen a little bit of Star Trek.
Yeah.
But it was still funny in its own right, and just if you had seen those things, there was another layer. And that's how you parody correctly, is if you have to be funny in your own right first, and the referential stuff should just be a extra layer. They can make it even funnier, but it needs to be funny in its own right first.
Well, and Mel Brooks is just an expert at that. He is so funny, and he's got his own sort of style of offbeat, quirky humor, but he is so good at layering those references and references to timeless things. In this movie, it's sci-fi films. You have the Western in Blazing Saddles. You have Robin Hood and Men in Tights.
I love Men in Tights. People shit on Men in Tights. I like Men in Tights.
I like Men in Tights.
I also love Carrie Yules.
I've never seen that.
No, Carrie Yules is the name of the actor, the main actor in Robin Hood Men in Tights. He's also
not familiar with him.
I'm sure you are when I list these movies. He's in Robin Hood Men in Tights. He's in he's the Princess Bride. He's
okay, yes, yeah, I know who you're talking about.
You know him. He's also one of the main guys in Saw, but I know you don't do horror.
No.
But yeah, I like Robin Hood Men in Tights as well. Good talk. Let's see. Oh, okay. So, Rick Moranis has apparently been considering coming out of retirement lately, which is cool.
Yeah. Isn't he doing a new Honey, I Shrunk the Kids movie?
Yeah, I heard about that. I haven't heard any updates on that. At least they brought him back, so that'll be good. I don't know what they're gonna do with it. Mm-hmm. I'm kind of wary of remakes at this point, but we'll see. The fact that Rick Moranis is back is
I will watch any new Rick Moranis material, so...
Dude, apparently, this was a couple weeks ago. Apparently somebody...
punched him in the
sucker
face.
Punched... Yes, they sucker punched Rick Moranis just in the street.
Yeah.
Who... He is, the kindest, most genuine celebrity. I have never heard a bad word. He literally retired because his wife died, and he wanted to take care of his kids instead of pursuing stardom. He's an amazing man. Who the fuck sucker punches Rick Moranis?
Yeah.
If you're listening, if you're the guy who sucker punched Rick Moranis, fuck you.
Bill Burr did have a funny joke on SNL, though, where he was like, "Did you guys hear this? Rick Moranis got punched just on the street. New York's back, baby. It's the old New York." I was like, damn.
Oh god, that's funny, but it's just
as we've established, Rick Moranis is, just such a genuine and to do what he did of retiring so early from his career and in his prime. To care for his family. How much more commendable of a person can you be?
Think of that streak of films. He was in Spaceballs, Ghostbusters, Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. I feel like I'm missing. Little Shop of Horrors.
Yeah.
He was the
huge
comedy guy. He was huge. And he gave that, he could have been one of, if not the richest comedian actors of all time.
Yeah.
But he gave it up to take care of his family. And I respect the fucking hell out of that.
Yeah.
And who the fuck sucker punches a man like that?
I want
What
to
is
know
the
the
reason?
rationale. Like, were they just like, was it some sick person off the street who was like, oh hey, look, I can punch Rick Moranis, or did he have like a
Did he know it
legitimate
was Rick Moranis?
vendetta? Was he trying to rob him? Like, I need to know the logic here.
Like, what is the story behind the man who punched Rick Moranis? Like, what is that man's life like? How do you go that wrong in life that you decide to punch Rick Moranis?
It's sad.
Who hurt you that you could hurt Rick Moranis? That man is a sweet gem of a human.
Yeah.
But that's today's moral on the Brute Neighbors podcast. Don't punch Rick Moranis.
Also, I mean, and this is I mean, I'm just throwing this out here. Don't punch random people on the street. Don't punch people if you don't have a good reason.
Yeah. Like self-defense, punch people.
Sure.
If they're a Nazi, I'm okay with that. There's weirdly debate about that, but we're not going to get into all that. But Rick Moranis is not a Nazi, so don't punch Rick Moranis.
The moral of the story.
That's the core value to reach at here.
Yikes!
God, that's baffling to me. Like it'd be like punching like a puppy dog or like Kermit the Frog, like just some pure genuine thing. There's very few of those.
Yeah.
God, fuck
Imagine
you,
if
man.
Somebody
Who
punched Weird Al in the face.
That would also be like punching a puppy.
Yeah.
That's fucked up.
Well,
you can't do that.
Okay, so we've established our holy trinity on this show is Alex Trebek, Weird Al, and Rick Moranis. If you hurt them, we'll hurt you.
Those are the only three celebrities I will never talk shit about. As you know, I talk shit about celebrities on this show.
Lin-Manuel Miranda, you'll never be on that list. You'll never be good enough for Philip.
He's okay. It'd be better if he could sing.
Anyway, speaking of controversial celebrities, which, I mean, Lin-Manuel Miranda's not controversial, but I think it's interesting, the story with George Lucas with this movie. How George Lucas apparently loved the movie and loved the concept when Mel Brooks went to him to, like, pitch it. And George Lucas was, he was a pretty big supporter of this movie getting made. And actually had his own, special effects studio go in to help work on the film. Which I think is pretty neat.
Although, if I remember correctly, one of the stipulations was that they couldn't, mass produce merchandise for the film, though.
Which is why that's a running gag in the movie. Yeah.
It's like merchandise. That's where the real money from the movie's made. That's such a good bit.
We'll all see each other again in Spaceballs 2. The search for more money.
I like that there's still rumors to this day of, the sequel actually getting made.
Yeah. Although, rip John Candy and Joan Rivers.
Yeah.
It wouldn't be the same without John Candy.
Yeah, for sure. And, that's the thing is, I don't even know... now that Rick Moranis is acting again, I could see him getting on board. Yeah. But, would Bill Pullman, I don't know, they would almost... I mean, I'm sure Mel Brooks would, but he's old now.
Yeah.
He's well into his 90s, isn't he?
Something like that.
He's pretty old. So yeah, I don't know if a sequel to Spaceballs is really...
94.
Jesus Christ! I hope he's got another 94 years in him.
Yeah.
I want Mel Brooks to be the next Methuselah.
Oh no, he would be too.
He's just I'm not going anywhere.
Everybody else just keeps dying off. Mel Brooks is 150. Still just cruising around award shows.
Yeah. Mel Brooks is incredibly funny. Like, not all of his films are hits.
Yeah.
Like, there's a couple of films I have, like, the Mel Brooks collection, and I haven't seen Producers yet, but I have seen, like, like, Blazing Saddles is great, Spaceballs, Robin Hood Men in Tights, I'm missing a big one.
Young Frankenstein.
Oh, Young Frankenstein, yeah. But, like, I watched, like, a High Anxiety for the first time recently.
I've never seen that.
It's okay.
Okay.
It's like a parody of Hitchcock films, which I was like really excited for because I like Hitchcock movies.
Yeah.
But like, I feel like that movie relied too heavily on the references, and it just didn't have a lot of. I don't know. It was disappointing. It wasn't very funny. There was only a couple of bits that really made me laugh. It was a little
Mel
disappointing.
Brooks should have listened to Music to Get Murdered By, so he could truly understand how to use a Hitchcock reference.
And then like I also saw, this is controversial. I don't like History of the World Part 1.
Never seen it.
People apparently love it. The only bit in it that I really think is just really good is the Inquisition song. That's really good. Everything else is fine at best, or it's not a great movie in my opinion. It was disappointing. But like even with like a couple of like misses, A, I still got at least some kind of laugh out of those movies.
Mm-hmm.
And B, most of his films that I've seen are hysterical. Like again, like Spaceballs is one of the greatest comedies of all time in my opinion. And just a testament that the fact that Mel Brooks had several movies that people will say are some of the funniest films ever. Like Young Frankenstein, Spaceballs, and Blazing Saddles are on a lot of people's best comedy lists. And justifiably.
Yeah.
They're great movies. So I think he definitely was the master of parody films. Spaceballs and Airplane are definitely the best parody spoof movies, no question.
Yeah.
I can't think of any others that even come close. Lockhart, A Dewey Cox Story is one of the better modern ones, but I enjoy it a lot, but it's still not on the level of Spaceballs or Airplane.
I still need to see that. I've heard you say great things, and like I've heard praise from other people.
It's definitely one of the best modern spoof movies, no question. I really enjoyed it. I enjoyed it a lot more than I thought I would. But yeah, like Spaceballs will always have a special place in my heart. It's just being a sci-fi comedy already. Anything sci-fi automatically gives a boost to me. There's not a lot of like sci-fi is already such a niche genre. When you get into other niches like sci-fi horror and sci-fi comedy, those are a lot harder to find, especially good ones.
It's the reason why Tomorrowland is my favorite land in Magic Kingdom.
I thought you were going to talk about the movie.
Oh, no. It's my favorite Disney movie.
It was a movie. It existed.
It was fine. It was forgettable.
Yeah, and I was so hyped for that movie too.
Yeah.
I was so hyped, and it was okay.
One day I'll write a Tomorrowland that is better.
That'll be the first Brute Neighbors feature film. Tomorrowland 2, the better one.
Oh my gosh.
It'll be slightly better at best.
We'll see.
But yeah, I don't know if I have too much else to say. I am very pro Spaceballs. Do you have any closing thoughts?
No, again, there's a lot of stuff from Spaceballs that I like. I am gonna have to give it a meh.
What?
Yeah.
Okay, I think you need to expand on the meh a little bit more, because I like a few stretches here and there, because like the vast majority of the film is stuff on the spaceship and like yogurt and stuff. Like there's only very few things on Duridia, and then
but
most
I mean,
of Bill Pullman's
I
stuff
just
really
felt like
directly
there was
into.
too much of the movie where I was just sliding on that meh, where I was not really engaged, where I was just hoping for something that would make me laugh and had to wait too long to get it.
See, like, even in those stretches, like I agree, like, they are less funny, but, like, there's still good lines. Like, I love the Pizza the Hut stuff.
Yeah.
When did we get to Disneyland?
It just didn't hit for me.
For shame, Seth. How are you gonna miss Spaceballs?
Like this. Spaceballs, meh. But very pro Mel Brooks, though.
Alright, commenters, go ahead and tell Seth he's a big old dum-dum boy.
Alright, commenters, go tell Philip that he should respect other people's feelings.
Why would I ever do that? When have I ever respected your feelings?
Never. You've never done that.
Yeah, why would I start now? Gotta keep the trend going. Alright. Well, yeah, I am very pro Spaceballs. I am extra pro Spaceballs to make up for Seth's bad opinion. God. And I respect other people's opinions, as long as they're not Seth.
Mm-hmm. Sure. Whatever you say.
Love you, buddy.
Alright. Mystery topic?
Alright, Seth. What the fuck did you just show me?
Okay, so I just showed Philip 2 videos from Trevor Moore and the Whitest Kids You Know, who were a comedy troupe who were real big in the early 2000s, and they had a sketch show on one of the cable channels called The Whitest Kids You Know, where they did these different sketches. The first one I showed Philip was this is a newer project by Trevor Moore, separate from it, but essentially he's singing a song about the world if everybody was just cats, and it starts really upbeat and like just kind of fun, and then it quickly turns south as he descends further and further into conspiracy theories.
Yeah.
And the second one is a bit more a bit more, you know, vanilla, a bit more calm. It's just sort of a funny sketch about like water balloons being introduced into the Old West with a little bit of a twist at the end, but
yeah. So I had heard of the Whitest Kids You Know. I think I've seen a couple of videos from them before from friends, but I couldn't tell you what they were. I never really got in on that very much. So I had never seen either of these videos before. And I know you intended water balloons to be like the palate cleanser. Honestly, I think I liked Kitty History more.
Yeah, I like, honestly, I forgot how water balloons ended. That was a little rough. That was a bad turn.
Yeah, and like, I mean, it was for comedy, and like they kind of acknowledged that it was bad.
Yeah.
But like, it definitely didn't fully sit right with me.
Yeah. This group, it was like, it was pretty off color.
Yeah. Oh, because they did some really oof shit, didn't they?
Well,
like for comedy, not like as people, but like.
They were definitely of the era where like they were really playing the lines with what was they were trying to find the line with comedic
just bounce all over it. See, okay, I'm all for offensive humor. I think it has its place. And like I don't think like either of these videos was like unacceptable. No. Like it didn't, like the ending just didn't really.
Yeah.
It wasn't very funny to me.
Yeah.
Like it just felt like a dark twist just for the sake of a dark twist.
Yeah, I shared the water balloons video just because I like the water balloon banter.
I did like when the first guy comes back and he's like, "Does this work with pee?" Like, I guess it could. A liquid's a liquid. Like that was funny.
Well,
But like,
I like the different townspeople just running in with like pool noodles and hose.
yeah, like I think the thing is like Kitty History. I knew from the get go where it was gonna go.
Yeah.
I knew. And maybe it's just because I was even remotely familiar with the Whitest Kids U Know, but I knew that it was like Kitty History. It's just like ours. It's like, it's going to end with like the nukes dropping or something. And I was pretty close. Like they went in like a slightly different direction in terms of like specifics, but like it got dark and I knew it was going to get dark. So I think I was ready for it. I think like with water balloons, it was relatively wholesome for the whole thing. And then at the last minute went like, offensive humor. It's like if you're going to do offensive humor, I feel like you kind of need to do it all the way through.
I agree.
Like you need to know what you're getting into.
Yeah.
Because like they could have just ended it on the you got bullets. Like that would have been a dark enough twist.
Well, and
to be funny.
I thought that's like I had forgotten how this had ended, and so I was expecting when he was like, "You got any bullets?" that it was going to go to a title screen of like, on a somber note, this was the start of a horrible massacre out west. But it went even darker than that.
It went to slavery, and it was. And maybe it's a product of how high tensions are right now with that kind of thing. But like, it felt very uncomfortable to me, and like it just felt unneeded.
Yeah.
Like I don't think that kind of humor is like should never be done or anything like that by any means.
Yeah.
But I just didn't feel like it fit. I think it felt like it was offensive just to be offensive, and I feel like you're going to do offensive humor. I feel like it needs to have a point. Like Kitty History actually like kind of had a point. It was like just how fucked up humanity is. Like Kitty History, it's just like ours. Our history's fucked up. Like there's a lot of fucked up shit in our history.
Now imagine if all that fucked up shit was being done by kitty cats.
Kitty JFK shot by Kitty. Like that.
Yeah, by
like
Lyndon B. Johnson that day.
Like it was dark, but like. Again, like that one, I knew it was going to like because also they teased that it was going to get dark early. Yeah. Like they immediately like they had the initial little riff like Kitty History, and then they're like, and they also had like and like because that one also mentioned slavery, but they did it in the first like 30 seconds, not at the last bit. You know, I think that's my thing is like you just need to have those expectations set if you're going to do that kind of humor.
Yeah.
Like if you're just doing it out of the blue, out of nowhere, it feels like it's just for shock value.
Like water balloons, where I did intend it as a palate cleanser to go with Kitty History, and because it is relatively upbeat, and then it just completely shifts, which I agree isn't necessarily very effective.
Like that's like I would honestly say I enjoyed Kitty History more. Like it was dark and fucked up, but like that was the point.
Yeah.
I knew it was going to be that from the beginning, so I could kind of settle into it more and be ready for it, you know?
Yeah. I had Whitest Kids U Know introduced to me by our mutual friend Blake last year. And there are a bunch of sketches that I thought were very funny and like we'll still go back to watch. But it is a lot. Like, I am huge on sketch comedy. I love Saturday Night Live. This definitely has more of a bite to it. And sometimes it's a very different vibe from what you'd expect from just your generic sketch show. And part of that is because it's a bunch of straight white guys who, like... who are very fueled by, you know, their toxic masculine traits. And these actors and comedians, if you ever listen to them talk, like, and through their sketches, you can tell that they are aware of this. Like, this is something they're conscious of, and that they try and make light of. But that sort of vibe definitely comes across in their humor from time to time.
Well, like, I don't think it's necessarily a... Like, like, there are comedians that, like, I think most of the best comedians have offensive humor. I think offensive humor is funny and can be effective, and especially because it draws attention. If you use it to draw attention to the bad stuff, and honestly, I think that's what both of these sketches do. Kitty History more effectively.
Yeah.
But, like, I think offensive humor is 100% good. I don't like how we as a society have kind of treated comedians lately.
I
like,
agree.
We kind of have, like... Cancel culture is weird when it comes to comedians, because comedians, their whole job is to get a reaction.
Yeah.
You know? So, like, I didn't like when James Gunn got fired from Guardians of the Galaxy.
That was definitely screwy. And, I mean, obviously, like, the entire cast came out to support him to kind of push back against that.
Because, like, this thing is, like, the jokes he said I didn't think were funny, but they were jokes, and that he was a comedian. That was his thing. He did shock humor.
Well, and that's the thing with cancel culture is, I mean, there are a lot of bad things that people do that particularly we have found out about in the past few years, and there's a lot of things where people deserve to get canceled, but there also definitely certain things that I feel like kind of they get caught up in the societal trend of cancel culture, and so they are treated the same way as these horrible things, even if that they aren't necessarily comparable, or they don't have the same sort of malice or harm to them as other things do.
Yeah, because, like, and obviously there are comedians who do those kind of jokes. They do punch down. They are joking, like, they're laughing at the problem. Yeah. Not at, like, but they're, like, most comedians that I have seen that do those offensive jokes, like, they do it as a way to bring awareness to it. Yeah. It's like, yeah, this awful thing. But actually, though, it's awful. Like, there's one comedian I found recently. He's not big, but I think his name is Sam Morrill. And he does, like, some offensive kind of humor, but he's like and maybe it's just as a response to how our culture is kind of shifted towards comedians, but he's always, like, very clear about how he's like, yeah, that shit was fucked up. Mm-hmm. Like, he's very, and, like, I think that's a good thing.
That's how I feel about, like, Mark Maron, too. If you've ever listened. I don't think I know that. I feel like you'd really like him. He's an extremely funny guy, but definitely, like, of that same sort of, like, you know, punching at the line vein. Because, like, even, like, I've done stand-up before, and, like, I know I specifically, like, I had some kind of risque stuff in my stand-up, but it was joking at the cause of the problem, not the victims of the problem. It was... and that, I think, is the key line when it comes to comedy, is you can absolutely joke about these things, but don't joke at the victims of these things. You need to joke at... Well, and need to be ridiculing the perpetrators. Don't minimize the problem while you're doing it. 100%. Absolutely. And I think that is something that maybe the older generation of comedians maybe stumbled on, but, like, I think the newer generation of comedians that I've seen, at least, has been doing really good about that. Like, Sam Morrill, I haven't seen this Mark guy, but maybe he's in the same boat. Like, they've gotten really John good. Mulaney, I feel like, does it exceptionally well, because, I mean, he does talk about some, like, sort of risque or controversial, like, topics. If you can't say, like, the one word that you're comparing to the other word, then no, that one's not a worse word. But, I mean, they're, like, John Mulaney has zero controversy to him at all. Because of his biggest controversy was having a sitcom that sucked. Yeah. Yeah, no, John Mulaney's amazing. And, like, yeah, that's the thing, is, like, the newer wave of comedians... Because, like, I don't think... again, I'm sure there have been malicious comedians. Oh, yeah. I mean, there have been, 100%. But... I think the older generation of comedians didn't necessarily think that, like, they didn't take that extra step because they didn't think about it. That's not where the culture was.
But, like, I think the newer wave of comedians has kind of learned from that. It's like, yeah, no, like, we can and should joke about anything and everything. We just gotta... It's about what the focus of the joke is.
Yeah.
And the context. And that's, I think, we've gotten a lot of very smart comedians as a result of that. And I think that's kind of where our society is going with comedy, and I think that's a good thing. And we're really seeing kind of a new way. Because, like, I don't like how a lot of people are saying, like, oh, comedy's dead now. It's not. No. 100% not. It's still... I mean, you know, the Brute Neighbors podcast exists, so comedy can't be dead.
So this is actually the rebirth of comedy. For you performance classes in the future who are listening to this as the start of the golden age of comedy, we're so happy to welcome you along this journey with us.
But yeah, like, we are seeing this new wave of comedy that, like, you can still make offensive jokes, but you have to know it's about the context and about how you handle it. Like, I am 100% a believer that you can joke about anything, but you need to be aware of the context and who is the subject of that joke.
Yeah.
If you're ridiculing anyone, it needs to be the perpetrator of the awful thing, not the victim. Never the victim. Do not punch down. That is a big thing in comedy that people are starting to realize. And I think that's a very good growth in the comedy community.
Yes. Well, I'm pro kitty history. As much as I don't want to be, I come back to it every couple of months.
It's very catchy. It's a catchy song.
Oh yeah, it gets stuck in your head.
Kitty history, just like ours.
Look, okay, I never started. I would have never considered believing in any conspiracies, but the more and more you run that song through your head, the more you're like, well, you
Makes
know.
Sense. It kind of clicks, you know? Kitty JFK did get shot by LBJ. It's just like ours.
Oh, God. Exactly like ours. Pro Whitest Kids U Know, pro Trevor Moore, pro comedy. Hopefully comedy continues on a trend of being a place where people think intelligently about subjects and does not become a haven for toxicity.
Yeah, 100%. And pro kitty history, meh, water balloons.
Yeah.
Water balloons didn't really do it for me. Weirdly enough, I actually really liked kitty history. It was dark and fucked up, but, I mean, that's my jam. And yeah, I think comedy is... It's going through a much needed... It's going through some growing pains right now, but I think that's good.
Mm-hmm.
And I think we're going to get some really strong... Like, because again, like, we already have both mentioned comedians that we like of this new wave that are doing a really good job of treading that line. That, like, they can find this, like, you know, potentially controversial stuff, but they know where the line is and what side of the line they need to be on. And I think comedy is growing as a result of that, and I think that's a really good thing. And I'm, 100% pro comedy, pro kitty history, and just pro seeing where the future goes. You know, comedy is a very underappreciated art form, and it takes some really witty people to do good comedy, and I'm excited to see where the comedy community goes going forward. So,
Roll Tide.
I'll roll tide to that. Yeah, so we go and spin up the wheel?
Spin the wheel, Philip.
Someday we'll get an actual wheel. It's
One
literally
day.
just a list on an online list randomizer, but, it's a wheel.
No, it's a wheel, Philip. We have the wheel in our office right here in the studio.
Yeah, we actually have a studio office right here in Antarctica.
You definitely can't hear the hum of my refrigerator in the background.
Hurry up and move to Atlanta, Seth, so we can start a real studio.
I'm working on it, bruh.
Okay. We're going to have a nice little office. It's just going to be an abandoned Wendy's, but it'll be our abandoned Wendy's.
Damn straight. Hey, okay. If we, put some love into that abandoned Wendy's and we work hard, we put our hearts and souls into it, I think one day we can move into an abandoned McDonald's.
That's a high bar, Seth. That's a high dream.
But you gotta dream big.
I think we could even do an abandoned Whataburger if we really tried. Maybe both. We can have 2 locations, a Whataburger and a McDonald's.
Oh my gosh, we're expanding.
We'll have 2 teams of 3 people each.
You know what? That idea? I'm loving it.
Whataburger slogan.
Does Whataburger have a slogan?
Man, what a burger! I think their slogan is literally just their fucking name.
That makes me sad.
Get better, Whataburger. Be better.
Be best.
That's their slogan. Be better. Alright, let's do the fucking thing.
Spin the wheel.
And our first topic for next week is royalty.
Hey, look. Okay, I was trying to make like a Lord reference, but I do not remember the words.
Seth, we will never be royal, so should we even talk about it?
Be royal.
I got you, Seth. I got
you. You're saving us here.
Someone has to.
You know what? I'm too embarrassed now. Move on to subject 2.
All right, so audience, it initially rolled Star Wars, but we want to do a full rewatch before we murder each other and end our friendship and the podcast forever.
I want to prolong the inevitable by a few more weeks.
We want a few more weeks of friendship, like Seth's going to visit me soon. We want to be friends when that happens.
Yeah.
And then we can end our friendship. So know that we will do Star Wars sometime in November. It is coming. The end of an era. The end of our friendship is soon coming.
That's going to be a blockbuster event. Tell your friends. Tell your family.
Get ready for the death of a friendship. That's going to be the subtitle of the episode. Star Wars. The end of a friendship. That would have been a better title than The Rise of Skywalker.
The Last Jedi, more like...
The last episode of friendship.
The last episode. Part of friendship.
So we will do that sometime in November. We're not trying to betray the list. We just want to give it a full reappraisal before we slit each other's throats.
In the meantime, though... What is our topic for next week, Philip?
Next week, we will be talking about Batman.
Batman!
Yeah, the famous superhero.
Specifically...
Is there a specific?
Everything to do with Batman. We're covering Batman in general. So that means Adam West. That means Christopher Nolan. That means... Insert
what we know about the comics,
the
shows, the movies, everything about Batman that we know about, we will talk about. So get ready for that. That'll be fun.
Yeah.
We gotta have some fun before the end of everything.
Expect a lot of Batman voices.
Yep, and it'll be miserable for everyone except us.
Everybody loves the Batman voice.
Batman doesn't like the Batman voice. I just have a bad cold.
Oh, I'm sorry. Would you like a lozenge?
That would be very great. Actually, I'm in a lot of pain.
So that'll be fun. Join us next week for that.
Wow, we lost 7 subscribers.
Oh no! With a mystery topic picked out by Philip. Now, in the meantime, Brute Neighbors is now on Twitter.
Tweet.
We're official. Hit us up, follow us, share us with your friends. We would love to hear from y'all, and we'd love to engage with y'all.
100%. Please hit that up. Like Seth said, share with your friends. Join the neighborhood, our culty little slogan. It'll be great. Thank you guys so much for supporting us. If you've made it this far in the episode, we love you. We appreciate you. Please keep telling your friends, like and subscribe, all that fun jazz. We appreciate you. Thank you for sticking around.
Also, thank you to our new editor, Nikki, who is doing a phenomenal job.
Yeah, he's been doing his thing for 2 episodes now. He's kicking it. He's doing great things. Great things. Good job, buddy.
All right.
I might be slightly drunk at this part of the podcast.
From my neighborhood to yours.
I don't like that one. Peace out, bitches. That's our slogan.
Philip's drunk. Good night.
Hey.